You. Lord Captain, Lady Navigator, welcome aboard. Sanctum Novice has been prepared for the communion ritual, but the Lady Navigator wishes to rest in her quarters first. Your heart starts beating furiously, your breath becomes short and choppy, and your fingertips tingle unpleasantly. You notice that Big Dis is shivering slightly, and the crew are glancing around in puzzlement, looking for a sudden wave of unease. Without even looking at the Voxmaster, Cassia waves her away. First, I wish to speak with the rogue trader. Leave us. Of course. When you're ready for the ritual, please let me know. Cassia sweeps her pensive gray gaze over Big Dis, then, lowering her lashes slightly, turns to you. What did you wish to speak about? A few seconds of hesitation, Cassia lets a small exhale and then raises her pointed chin. I have not yet thanked you for saving me on the station. My thoughts were clouded with so much mournful ash that when Theobald's heart stopped, but you acted honorably and did not exploit me in my wretched position, and for that I'm immeasurably grateful. I'm also deeply grateful that you saved my servants, especially my valet. Uvi has served on the station for more than 5 years, much longer than any who preceded me. He knows how to properly attend to me during journeys through the Matrium, an alternate dimension of purity. Okay. And what to serve me for breakfast. His presence envelops me in a cloak of amber. But now, I'm ready to go to the Sanctum Novice and perform the sacred rite. I require brushes, canvas, and the best paint you have on board. But no red. Why are you asking for these items? You are asking questions, the answers which you cannot comprehend. Perhaps I may explain to you at a later time, but now our time is too precious to waste. As a navigator of House Celio, I give you my word that without canvas and paint, we will have little hope of smooth journey through the warp. What can you tell me more about what the ritual entails? I doubt uninitiated could understand the mysteries of navigation, but I shall try to explain the essence of it. I must merge my mind and will with the machine spirit of the ship, so that I become one with the vessel. After that, I use the House Celio ritual, which I am loath to reveal to you, to free my mind of all errant thoughts, and then it is time to open my third eye and peer into the depths of the warp itself. Among the nightmarish visions and mirages and creatures of the abyss, only the light of the Emperor is the truth that shall lead me from star to star, from system to system. Oh, the light, guiding thread, so fine it can slip from one's grasp at any moment. But you have nothing to worry about. Navigators of House Celio never lose their course. I shall ensure that all the necessary supplies are delivered to the Sanctum Novice. I shall take my leave for you for the duration of the warp rite. I ask that you do not follow me. Few can survive the gaze of my warp eye when it is opened. Okay. Lord Captain, I will oversee the open channel between the Lady Navigator and the bridge. May the Emperor's light help us all. The Voxcaster in the Sanctum Novus picks up the susurrection of clothes, pious chanting, and the metallic clicking of implants. Then the serene voice of the Lady Navigator breaks the silence. Initiating communion ritual. Come here, Uvi. The exultant ring of metal freed from its scabbard, the low sob of a certain, the rhythmic drip of liquid on canvas, the faint whisper of the brush. Oh. Footsteps hurrying away. I see violet vortexes lashing an ocean with a million flails and umber shadows spinning over the surface in a fiery dance. A storm rising above foaming waters. Amadeus. Drowning in fog, the path from one end to another cannot be seen. And here, beyond the wall of glass, a daughter forsaken by her father yearns for her brother, and the sun's pale disk goes in tireless pursuit of her. No, of me. Its frozen rays lie that spring is here. The light is deadened. The great ruler is gone. The Voxmaster recoils at Cassia's words and accidentally snaps one of the cogitator levers. The panel beneath her finger emits spark, and the Voxcaster falls silent. He quickly flips a series of switches and bows guilty. My abject apologies for cutting off the broadcast. I've never heard the warp speaking through a navigator before. The connection is restored now. It will not happen again. Leave the navigator undisturbed. Soul-shredding screams drown out the Vox transmission. Servants in the Sanctum Novice are howling and shrieking like wild beasts, moaning in pain. Their throats raw from the strain. And then sudden silence. The dull thud of dropping bodies proclaims their fate. It appears the servants were part of Lady Navigator's rite. As it was for her predecessor, I will arrange for the bodies to be removed from the Sanctum Novice after the ritual, or what is left of them. Rogue Trader, I feel I have unfortunate news. Endless blackness has spread across the canvas, dividing what should be whole in two, and my sight cannot glimpse the light of the Emperor as clearly as before. I cannot turn around. My brush only draws me onward, and the way is blocked. By the Emperor's grace, your ritual was successful. Your vessel's temperament presented a challenge. Its cold steel grip did not allow me to breathe freely even for a second. It was as if the depths of my ship housed not only machine spirits, but something other. Now I will retreat to my chambers to recover my strength. Send for me if you need me. Lord Captain, congratulations on requiring a navigator. Spare me a few moments of your time, please. Several matters that require your attention. First of all, I want to report on the condition of the station on Iraq 5. Had you opted to begin your visit with the Rykid system with a different destination, the station could have become critically unstable. Fortunately, your decision to immediately visit the representatives of the Novice Nobility bought us precious time. We can send our forces to disassemble the station and procure technological components for our own, or attempt to save as many... Oof. Loot everything, as you command. With your permission, I would like to remind you that we are still looking for an Engineer Prime. Both the vessel and the machine spirits are in desperate need of oversight by an experienced tech priest. We're also missing some crew, and much more importantly, we have not located Henrix von Calix, the right hand of the Lord Inquisitor. Now we know for sure he is not at Uruk 5, so please keep this in mind while making future plans. Thank you. That will be all. As it pleases you. Whew. Okay. So, now... to... Colonel. Okay, so... let's go here, now that we have... well, let's go here. Let's go here first. I like that it actually goes around the side. Lord Captain, there's some commotion on the officer's desk. The Lady Navigator has left her quarters and is currently in the wardroom, where uninitiated crew members are shunning her in terror. Perhaps you should find what brought Cassia to the deck. Okay. Alright. That's fine. We can do that. We can for sure do that.
Lord Captain, my apologies. I did not notice your entrance. Compared to Urak 5, your ship is a boundless world of unfamiliar hues. And yet, the abundance of bright colors can at times be wearisome on the eyes. The bridge and the decks are so clamorous. In my search for a place of quiet, I was fortunate to come upon this islet of serenity filled with rare tomes and practically devoid of color.
The events that took place on Urak 5 must have shaken you greatly. Are you well?
One should not underestimate the navigators of House Orselio, Lord Captain. Like a shawl of pale smoke, a faint malaise hangs upon my shoulders. But it will not be the slightest hindrance to my duty to humanity, and my duty to you.
I see you're fond of reading.
Oh, this. I found this fascinating read on one of the shelves, and I must say, it has caught my eye. Its every chapter is written in verse. I find it so beautiful and enrapturing. Urak 5 had a vast archive of its own, of course. Although most of the works within had to do with scholarly disciplines of some sort or another. Only in my sparse moments of respite was I allowed to escape into the pages of more embellished works.
Your only attendant is the valet. Do my servants not measure up?
No. It is not that at all, Lord Captain. It is just that Uwe is quite capable of carrying out his duties by himself. He is well accustomed to my whims and preferences.
That's fair. Cassia cringes ever so slightly, adjusts to the adornment on her forehead, then awkwardly hides her clawed fingers in the folds of her clothes. The unnatural appearance of navigators often becomes a topic of gossip among lowly servants and officers alike. It is unsurprising, then, that Cassia prefers the company of one who is used to how she looks. Well, I hope you have ample time to calm.
There are people on this ship who are far more impulsive and dangerous to others, and far less devoted to the God Emperor than a herald of the Navis nobility. But I did not need your words to see the shades of umber unease that whirl around your subjects whenever I am near. Were I not acquainted with such a reaction, I could have found their behavior and your question just now insulting. Lord Captain, would you kindly explain to me why you are pestering me with these questions? Inquiring about my mood and my needs, showing an interest in the books I am enjoying. You are behaving as if you possessed a shred of fellow feeling for one such as... I beg your pardon, Lord Captain. That was no way for a navigator to conduct herself.
I'm beginning to think, Lady Cassia, that the feelings I have for you are far more complicated than common sympathy.
Lord Captain? So many colorful sparks are flaring to life and dimming all around you. It is a veritable ocean of emotions. There are so many of them that I can barely see the pure white sincerity of your words. Please forgive me. I cannot even understand myself right now. Your words and attention have reminded me of life on the station, of Theobald and Felek. I do not understand. They were merely the keepers of Urak 5. So why do memories of those two make me feel a strange heaviness here? At the same time, I find myself overwhelmed with new excitement and anticipation. At last, I have set foot outside my familiar walls and into a world that I have only seen before in the pages of books. Your ship alone is a treasure trove of remarkable artifacts and curiosities. And just imagine the things that await beyond, but... My delight must seem childish to you, surely. In your heart, you must be finding all this quite amusing.
Would not dare to make fun of a lady's feelings, especially not one who has captivated me since I set eyes on her.
Words like that, Lord Captain, could easily be misconstrued. You should familiarize yourself with some of the works in your library to learn the appropriate manner of conversing with a lady.
What you got here? What is that? Is that the... Well, she said I needed it, so I need it. Alrighty, let's go find some people to talk to. Let's just start at the back. Greetings, Lord Captain. Greetings. Oh, there's Idira. Let's talk to her.
Lyra, an outlying world in the Heathen Stars region. In the Koronus Expanse, the deeper you go, the less visible the Astronomicon gets, and the less people know about the Imperium. The arrival of a rogue trader is the best thing that can happen to a world like that. The very best. It's an out-of-the-way planetoid between two faint stars. On Lyra, a dozen local tyrants fight over 5 measly continents. But they use everything they can to win, from poison to psykers. I haven't been there in many years, but there's nothing for me to miss. Trust me. But here on the ship is a different story altogether. I saw more wonders in my first year serving Lady von Valancius than I'd seen in my whole life on Lyra. Like my first journey through the warp, I was in bed for 3 days. I felt like supernovas were exploding in my head. I only found out later that I'd gotten off easy. Just through the bulkhead, in the bay next to mine, a whole team turned into... Look at me rambling on, Lord Captain. Pay no attention. It wasn't like it was a very fun trip, Lord Captain. But look, if you want to be entertained, I'm the woman for the job. I'll entertain you with one of the stories from my collection, no problem. But if you want to hear about the time I melted everyone in the bay next door, well, I just don't really want to go into the details on that one, all right?
Okay.
Oh, I embroidered wall hangings in honor of our national heroes. I did the same thing I do here, Lord Captain. Divining. Our rulers prized the ability to see into the future. Every psyker that could be found was worth a small fortune on Lyra. There's no such thing as a peaceful life on Lyra. People like me were especially sought after. They'd pick psykers up wherever they found them, buy kids off their parents, even just abduct them. Take me, for instance. I got taken from my street gang. The older kids sold me when they noticed there was something off about me. The ruling dynasties had schools where they trained us and beat us black and blue. And then they packed us off to serve. Some of us held on for a long time, but others didn't last. Not everyone's as smart and talented as me, you know. Some people crossed the line and were out of commission before their time.
How'd you end up in the Rogue Trader service?
Theodora von Valancius paid a visit to the ruler I was serving at the time. I don't know what the visit was for, and it's no business of mine anyway. I can still remember the way the voices in my head changed when I looked at her. They were practically screaming. She had so much behind her, and plenty ahead of her too. As I gawped at her, all of a sudden I heard a whisper. A hint, a suggestion, nothing more. But I know the difference between idle chatter and a real threat. I seized my chance and approached Theodora. I managed to whisper a couple of words in her ear before the wardens dragged me away. They beat me and locked me up. No wonder. It wasn't my place to converse with outsiders. And then Theodora's people came for me. They broke down the wall, butchered the guards. Also, I could tell them my warning in full. So I said the rest, but I didn't want to go back to my old life. And so I entered the service of the Von Valancius dynasty.
You ever been off the ship?
A few times. Not many. And if I think about it, why would I want to? I've got everything I need here. All the whispers I hear are familiar.
That's good, because
they almost feel like family. And if I want to hear about the nightmares off the
you might be
ship,
staying
I
on the
can,
ship once I get
some amass.
more companions. One thing I gotta figure out is as I get
don't
more.
go getting the wrong idea. If I have to, I'll follow you to the edge of the galaxy. Of course, Lord Captain.
Okay.
Of course.
Cool. All right. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-dum. I see.
Words cannot describe how boring the bridge is without our stimulating conversations.
What about yourself?
I am a part of House Orselio, an ancient dynasty of the Navis nobility. Since time immemorial, our family has served to advance knowledge, pushing at the boundaries of the dark unknown. The Starway Atlas contains 2,843 routes that chart the sectors of the Segmentum Obscurus and reach all the way from the Koronus Expanse to Holy Terror. You will? That would be most appreciated, Lord Captain. You will hear no, I have enjoyed.
All right. I wanna. Let me just go stop by her real quick. Just.
Greetings.
Okay. Let's. Gonna kind of touch base and see if anybody's got anything that needs to be brought up. Okay. Abelard.
Lord Captain. Lord Captain.
Okay. And Janris? I would look. Oh wow, you do a lot. I have questions. Okay, so